Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be the next episode in my You Do Not Need That series, where I'm talking you out of all of these new tempting makeup releases. If you are on a no buy, if you're on a low buy, if you're trying to cut back on makeup spending, if you're trying to save money getting ready for holidays, then this video is for you. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so quick disclaimer before we jump into these products. I haven't done my disclaimer for a little while because I know you guys get it. I know you guys understand that I am not the target audience for these videos. But if I don't do the disclaimer, I literally always get comments from people saying, but you bought these products. Why are you saying that we don't need this? And then you're reviewing it. Why have you bought these products? So I just want to say, if you are new here, if this is your first episode of this series of mine, this series is specifically for people who are trying not to buy these products. It doesn't mean that they're terrible. It doesn't mean that they're rubbish. In fact, quite often it's the opposite. They're great, exciting makeup products, which is why we want them so much. When we get FOMO and we feel like we're missing out and we really, really need them. If they were all like horrible, useless makeup products, no one would want them and you wouldn't need these videos. And the other point is that I am a beauty YouTuber. I'm a beauty content creator. My job is literally to buy all of these products so that you don't have to, so that I can review them and spend my money on them before you do. Maybe they're not great products. Maybe you already have something like it. So because I'm buying them and testing them out for my channel, definitely does not mean that you should or that you need them whatsoever. So this video is specifically for you if you're trying to cut back on makeup spending. Obviously I'm not, because that's literally my job. So hopefully that clears that confusion up. So kicking us off, it's the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. This is one that I own, this is one that I've reviewed, and this is one that I really like. I think it's a really nice palette. I understand why people are really excited about this. I understand why you might be tempted to pick this up and you're thinking, oh, should I, right before holidays, should I? No, you should not. This is a permanent eyeshadow palette and holiday season is right around the corner and sale season is right around the corner. You definitely do not need to buy this, especially not at full price. You know, one of my mantras, do not pay full price for permanent products. There will always be a sale right around the corner. And then you've just thrown, 20% of the price in the bin, because we can always find 20%. There's always 20% right around the corner. And that is never more true than right now in November, when Black Friday and holiday season is right around the corner. The sales are just never ending. It's sale time. So if you absolutely need this, wait for a sale. Watch lots of reviews, have the cooling off period, ask for it for Christmas or ask for makeup vouchers, Sephora vouchers, if you're in the US, Selfridges vouchers, or any of those big beauty stores that have lots and lots of brands to choose from. I always ask for vouchers for Christmas. Someone will give me a little cheeky £20 at Selfridges, $20 at Sephora. That's basically half the cost of this palette. It is a pricey palette. Definitely wait for a good solid 20% off if you still need it. It's not selling out. It's not going anywhere. If you're still really thinking about this and hankering after it, in a good few weeks' time, wait for a sale, ask for it for Christmas or your birthday. Wait for a discount. Wait till you've got a cheeky voucher, because it's not going anywhere. It's permanent. It's not going to sell out. You can wait. And if you still really want it, it means that it's really something that you're going to value and appreciate in your collection. If something else has come out in the meantime that you like just as much, then you save the money from buying this so that you could buy that instead. Win-win. Next up, let's talk about the Burberry lipsticks. So Burberry came back into the makeup arena in the last couple of weeks. They did have a makeup line, but it kind of got forgotten about. I don't think it even got discontinued. It's just they just let it fall by the wayside. And now they've kind of relaunched it with some of their iconic products that they already had. Their lipsticks, they had matte lipsticks and satin lipsticks. They've re-released them with a huge big number of colors and it's very exciting. They've got the very tempted, luxurious looking golden packaging. I think the thing to remember about Burberry is these aren't new. They're just relaunched and re-promoted and re-energizing the brand. So these are products that were around like 10, I don't even know how many years ago, but they've been available before. And they're nice lipsticks. I bought a couple of these satin lipstick shades. The first thing I'll say is 100% do not buy any of these without seeing it on someone's lips, without seeing someone using it, without seeing proper swatches, not the ones that are on Selfridges, because I bought a couple and I bought two because the first one I bought was nothing like the picture. If you buy 2 or 3 of these online just based on the online pictures, I feel like it's going to be money in the bin because they aren't going to be the shades or the colours that you expected or that you wanted. And these are not cheap lipsticks. You know, there's a lot of money in the packaging and the name of these lipsticks, and they are a pretty average lipstick formula. They're a nice satin lipstick formula, and that's it. There's nothing incredibly exciting or special or different about these, whether it's the matte formula, it's a very average matte formula. Whether it's a satin formula, it's a very average satin formula. Don't get carried away and super over the top excited because Burberry are back and it's kind of something new and shiny that we've got our little eyeballs on. Because realistically, if you have a lot of Charlotte Tilbury and Pat McGrath and Lisa Eldridge and YSL and Dior lipsticks, these are not going to stand out and amongst all of those and amongst all of your collection. There are no revolutionary colours here. And like I said, if you buy 2 or 3 of these without swatching them, and without seeing them on somebody around your skin tone, you're likely to end up with completely different colours to what you thought you were buying, and you can't return it because it's lipsticks. And that would be very, 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 very sad. I don't see anything here that you don't already have. You already have all of these colours. You can do without them 100%. They're not going to change your life or look any different to the lipsticks you already have. So easy pass. Next up, let's talk about these mini ABH eyeshadow palettes. We have a mini Sultry and we have a mini Modern Renaissance. Listen here. I know what happened here. Nostalgia got you. Nostalgia came along like a train and you went, oh, ABH Sultry. Those were the days. 2018 circa. 2018, was that around the time when the ABH like train was just steaming past every single station, grabbing customers left, right and centre? I don't know where I'm going with this analogy, but the point is, you know, ABH, the heyday, has definitely fallen by the wayside a little bit. They're making a little bit of a comeback, and that's why they've brought these palettes out. 2 of their most successful ever launches in a little mini size, but these are not cheap. You know, they're almost $30, I think. And again, if you buy 2 of these, you could have had a Natasha Denona midi or the Huda Beauty midi size. And these are eyeshadow palettes that we've all already purchased at some point. We all had ABH Modern Renaissance back in the day. And at that point, it was revolutionary. You know, a good 5, 6, I don't even know how many years ago. That was like a revolutionary palette that we all lost our minds over and used nothing else for a good 12 to 18 months. But it's 2023 now, and we've all got eyeshadow palettes with these colours in coming out of our ears. This no longer is something we should run out and spend all of our hard-earned money on just because it's got a little bit of nostalgia and it conjured up the feelings and the excitement for makeup that we used to have like 10 years ago when a launch came out, especially from ABH, and we all were like beside ourselves with glee and joy and excitement. It's just conjuring up those feelings again. Actually, what's here is really not exciting. It's really stuff that we already have. We literally already had and probably used up a whole Modern Renaissance in our day. I know I hit pan on several of those shadows, absolutely. But those days are gone. We don't need Modern Renaissance and Sultry anymore. We've got a huge stack of eyeshadow palettes that have all of these shades already in, and we don't need them. These little purchases that seem like, oh, but it's not a mothership, it's not £100, it's only like 20 odd, £30. So it's a bargain and it's not a lot of money. Remember, they add up. Those little nothing purchases that we justified because they weren't super expensive and they weren't 3 figures and they weren't a huge amount of money. They all add up to a huge amount of money, and they're all pretty average little trinkets that we can absolutely do without. And again, those add up to being able to afford much more super luxurious products and many more things that we actually really, really want and appreciate and will get a lot of joy out of. These how much joy are they going to give you? You know, let's Marie Kondo it for a second. Let's look at these eyeshadow palettes. Are they going to really stir our joy? Are we going to really love using these for a very long time and hit pan and get a lot of use out of them? I don't think we are. I think they're absolutely skippable. Next up, let's talk about one of the most bizarre, to me at least, collaborations in makeup that I have seen for some time. It's the Bobbi Brown by Powerpuff Girls. I literally have never heard of the Powerpuff Girls. I think I have heard of them, but I've no idea what they are. I've never seen the programme. And actually, when I was looking at products to talk about in today's video, I fully thought it was Powder Puff Girls, which made a lot more sense to me. But apparently it's Powerpuff, no D. The reason this feels so disconnected to me is when I think of Bobbi Brown, I definitely think of more mature, sophisticated, no makeup, very classic customers. That's what I think of. I feel like Bobbi Brown is like a timeless, elegant, classic brand. And like the Powerpuff Girls, it seems so totally mismatched for me. A very sort of like childish, you know, program, very, very young audience with Bobbi Brown. I just don't understand it. Someone explain it to me why this would be a collaboration that would make sense. So I feel like this is just an easy pass. All of these products already exist. They've just had a Powerpuff logo slapped on them, which to me, it just kind of takes away from the elegant, classic, timeless nature of the brand and their whole image and their packaging. I feel like it's cheapened it. It kind of looks a little bit like Claire's accessories makeup. It looks very fun and young and cute, but then the actual makeup products look very classic, elegant, grown up. So I feel like this doesn't really fit anybody, because you're either gonna just love the Powerpuff Girls and you think it's super cute and that's why you want this collection, and then you're not really going to use the makeup, in which case why bother? You're better off buying some kind of ornament or decoration that's not going to expire and age and go bad eventually if you just love the Powerpuff Girls. And if you love Bobbi Brown, I think you'd be better off sticking to their regular line. This is obviously limited edition. I don't think anybody needs this. I feel like it's, like I said, if you love the Powerpuff Girls, there are much better mementos and decor and little accessories that you could buy that you would get a lot more enjoyment out for longer. If you just like the makeup products, then you can buy the ones without the Powerpuff Girls on at your leisure. I don't think that this makes any sense to anybody, but please let me know if this is like all your dreams come true. Please explain it to me, because I'd love to understand it and I obviously don't. So if you do, I beg you, let us know in the comment section why, what's happening. So if you do, please explain it to me in the comment section, because I want to understand, you know, I do, I just don't. Is what I'm saying. Next up, Armani are coming out with a new foundation, and I know what's happening here. You heard the name of it, just like I did, the Armani Designer Glow Radiant Revitalising Foundation. Maybe you saw this post on Trend Mood and you read all of the information just like I did, and you started to get so excited. Instant perfect glow, improves skin over time, enriched with Prussian blue pigments combined with light reflecting pearls, creates radiance, reduces dullness, silk to skin texture, boosts skin hydration, strengthens skin and preserves a healthy glow all day long. And we all just collectively lost our minds. And there's a few reasons for this. If, like me, you are a glowing skin lover, you just love all things luminous and radiant and revitalising and glowy and luminous, and that's just what you live for. The description of that foundation literally made my heart race. I'm beside myself. I want to get my hands on it now. I want to try it. I'm desperate, okay? But hold up, hold your horses, because the reason why we're all getting so excited about the description and the name of this foundation is because if you're like me and you just love glowy skin foundation, we've been kind of starved of really good foundations that tick those boxes lately. So we saw this one and we lost our minds, especially because it's Armani, who are responsible for the Luminous Silk Foundation, which for lots of people is holy grail status. They haven't really given us anything new to get excited about for a very, very long time. We're all thinking, this is it. This is going to be my holy grail foundation. It's going to be glorious. I'm going to look like an angel. It's going to fix all my problems and hide all of my worst fears. It's going to be delightful. But is it though? But is it? Because actually, I think, unpopular opinion coming here, buckle up, the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation is overrated in my book. It's not one of my favourites. I've owned it. I have real issues with the shade ranges. I've never found an Armani shade that works for me with my undertones, and I just found it very average and actually not that luminous. Is that just me? So I don't trust them wholly to bring out an amazing foundation that is going to be like top drawer, holy grail status, use it every day of my life. And a lot of what's going on in this description is giving me red flags. You know, these enriched with skincare, it's going to improve your skin over time. No, it's not. It's not. It's a foundation, not skincare. And it's going on top of our skincare and hopefully SPF. It's not getting through there. All right, it's not getting through there. So it's not going to do any of that. At best, it might be a glowy, nice foundation. And if, like me, you got so excited about that description, I know it's because you already own a lot of those. Maybe you own the Tom Ford, maybe you own the Nars, maybe you own the House Labs, the Makeup by Mario, the Say Beauty, etc, etc. I could go on for 24 hours about glowy luminous foundations. And if you are like me and you love them and you have to like collect them because maybe the next one's going to be even glowier and more delightful than the ones you already own, just wait. It's a foundation, okay? It's permanent. Don't pay full price for permanent makeup. Wait for a sale. Definitely get a sample, watch lots of reviews, at least make sure that you're going to get the right shade because it's not easy when it comes to Armani shades. At least go in store, get colour matched, try it out, ask for a sample, wear it throughout the day. If it is in fact the greatest foundation that ever lived, that has improved your face so much you look in the mirror and you don't know who you are anymore, I would support that purchase with a discount, okay? But if it's just going to be distinctly average like every other foundation you already own in your drawer, and in fact probably worse than a lot of the ones that you already own, then definitely don't fork out for it, okay? Give it a good try first. Let people like me buy it first and give you my thoughts and comparisons, because if it's a dupe for something you've already got, ding ding, winner. You know, but don't panic buy it, whatever you do. It's not going out of stock. It's a foundation. It's going to be around forever. Okay, and it might be utterly useless and disappointing. It might be one of those that turns into an oil slick by 12:30 and you haven't even had your lunch yet. So proceed with caution. Next up, let's talk about this Pat McGrath Dark Star Labs 006 V4. I mean, why do we have to make it so complicated? Nobody on earth needs this little set, needs an eye gloss. Nobody on earth needs it. I feel like we're all so starved of Blitz shades from Pat McGrath. There were none in the previous Mothership, there were none in the holiday collection. We've seen one, and also we've been so starved of like colour from Pat McGrath. You know, everybody's been screaming, give us blues, give us greens, give us a rainbow palette from Pat McGrath, please, we beg you, that we've seen something that's not like pink and we've all gone, oh my God. Not only is it a Blitz shade, which we're literally crying out for, but it's also not pink. And we've all gone, oh my gosh, how exciting. But it's not really exciting. It's literally one single blue eyeshadow that's, I'm sure, super beautiful. But if you own Mothership 1, or you previously bought any of the quads with a blue eyeshadow in it, on the lid, it's doing that job already. You've either already got this or you just won't wear it. You're in one of those two camps, and neither of those two camps needs to start a campfire and start singing songs about this eyeshadow, okay? Calm down. I know we're starved, but with Pat McGrath, there is always something more exciting coming around the corner, I've found. You know, if you buy this and then in 2 or 3 weeks' time, she comes out with the next Bridgerton collection, you are going to be furious with yourself. I just know it. So don't buy it. Don't get FOMO. It's a blue eyeshadow. It's a blue Pat McGrath eyeshadow, sure. But we've seen those before. I know it feels like a long time. I know it does. But have a look through your drawers and see if you can find a Pat McGrath blue eyeshadow, because I know I've got at least 4, okay? It's not as rare and exciting as I think we've told ourselves it is, just because it's been a little while. But, you know, drag them back out, I beg you. And lastly, but by no means leastly, let's talk about this Natasha Denona Xenon palette. I know how exciting and irresistible this is. If you like cooler tones and these shades are like your cup of tea, this is extremely FOMO inducing, because I think also it's generally reviewing very well. I really loved the formulas in here, and I was pleasantly surprised that it turned out more wearable than I expected it to. These typically aren't my comfort zone shadows whatsoever. I'm like a warm toned neutral girly, but I still found that, you know, a couple of looks that I've done with it so far were wearable and not as intimidating for me. It's Natasha Denona, so of course the formulas are going to be really solid, really good. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you this was rubbish and I hate it and it's useless and I wish I'd never seen it or set eyes on it in my entire existence and life. I'm not here to lie to you or blow smoke up your bot, okay? I'm here to be truthful and give you the hard facts of the reasons why you don't actually need this, and you certainly don't need to panic buy it, put it on a Klarna, put it on a credit card, rush out and buy it when it's not convenient or when you're trying to save money. Here's why. First up, permanent palette, don't pay full price for it. We've already had sale from Natasha Denona since this launched. There'll be more. Holiday season, sale season is coming up. If you can put it on your Christmas list, do that. It's not going anywhere. And if you really are going to love it and get that much joy out of it, waiting for a few weeks for it is not going to end your life. The second thing I've noticed about this palette is, regardless of what shades I've used in there, I've done like 3 or 4 looks with it, used it 3 or 4 times at this point, and I've used different shades in the palette every time because I want to use everything in there so that when I, you know, give my full thoughts and comprehensive thoughts in my November roundup, I've used every shade in there and I can tell you exactly how I feel about the whole palette over the last few weeks of using it. What I've noticed is that regardless of what shades and combinations and shimmers I've used in that palette, my eye look has essentially turned out like the exact same every time. I don't know what's happening. I'm like using different shimmers, different mattes each time. I'm doing different things and the look is turning out essentially like indiscernible from every other look that I've done with the palette. So I think, although I know some people are saying this is all the same shades repeated and repeated, and I don't really see that. I feel like they are pretty varied shades. You know, there are a couple of shades that kind of are close, but then their finishes are completely different. I feel like there are, you know, a really nice variance of shadows in here, but it turns out that when you put them on the eye, the combinations that are possible, it ends up with essentially the same look over and over again with a £15 really expensive eyeshadow palette. And I'm starting to think you probably could have just bought the mini Xenon and essentially you'd have the same look that you can get with this palette. I just feel like the versatility, and maybe that's obvious that, you know, it's not a very versatile palette. It kind of does one sort of cool tone, smokier eye, but that's what I'm noticing. I feel like I thought I was going to be able to get, you know, 5, 6, 7 completely different looks out of this palette, and I can't unless I use a different palette. And I think what's happening is that the mattes are obviously all in the same colour family, all the same vibe, and that's what really changes up a look for me. So if I don't use the mattes, if I use like a one and done shadow I pull from another palette, I can get some different looks, but then what was the point? You know, if I'm going to pull from another palette, I may as well use a different palette altogether and, you know, save my money. So I feel like really ask yourself, if you can only get 1 or 2 looks that really are different to each other whatsoever out of this palette, would you still really, really want it? Would you be better off or stick to the mini Xenon? Maybe you already purchased the mini Xenon palette and you already have it. How different of a look can you really get from the midi if you already own the mini? Because I don't think you will. I think you pretty much can do this sort of silvery blue, icy, smoky, really cool toned look with several other palettes. You certainly can do it with mini Zen, and if you've already picked that one up, or you would like a more affordable version of this palette, there's really not a huge amount different that you can do with it other than this like one look that we've seen everybody doing. So for me, I was able to make it wearable and I enjoy it, and I think the formulas are really, really great. But that was something that was surprising to me, and that was definitely not what I expected from the palette, and maybe something that, you know, is worth considering if you really want to think, do I really, really need it? Or actually, can I do that look that it kind of just gives you that one or two looks with something I already own? What do you think? Okay, so there you have it. Those are the most FOMO-inducing, alluring makeup releases that are out there tempting us and trying to take our hard-earned money against our will this month. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye, 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 bye.